In Visual Script for Jira, all of our tickets live in Jira dashboard gadgets. I'm going to show 4 reports today that help us identify how our service desk team is performing, how they are performing against their service level agreements, as well as how they are performing with regard to resolving tickets in their backlog. The first report I'm going to show is our health gauge report. Very simple data entry for parameters: project key, start date, end date, the issue types. Do I want to include breaches from the ongoing cycle, which is a cycle that has not completed yet? My sample size, I'll leave as 0 to sample everything. So as I'm running this report, the goal here is to show a high-level status for the health of our service desk. So you'll see it's going to be a circular gauge going from green to red, and it's going to show us the percentage of tickets that have breached all of my SLAs. So you'll see we're sitting at 32%, which is in the yellow, and that can be a cause of concern, right? So this is overall for all of our SLAs. You can get the tickets via the hyperlink here. When I click this expanded view, now it's going to show me my percentage breach for each SLA. And the idea here is to look for the SLA that might be causing us to have a problem. So you'll see time to first response is sitting at 49%. It's almost in the amber, so that definitely is a concern. Time to resolution is sitting at 32% in the yellow. That is still something that we want to take a look at. So in order to take a deeper look into those specific SLAs, I can use my mean time to respond and resolve report. So very simple data entry in project key, start date, end date, and issue types. And the idea here is to show 2 line charts. We're going to look at the day-to-day measurement of those 2 SLAs so we can look for spikes. What are the days that caused us a concern? So you'll see here, May 2nd, there's a spike there for time to first response. That's likely the problem that's causing us to hit those 49% within that time frame. May 1st, time to resolution spiked as well. That's likely the day that caused us to have 32% breach for time to resolution. I can click this expanded view, and it's going to give me day-to-day metrics with basically the time to resolution in hours, the average time to resolution in hours. So May 2nd, I was sitting at almost 10 hours. Look at that in comparison to the others. Now, if I want to dig deeper and look into what those tickets are, I can click that hyperlink there. Same thing with time to resolution. I have the expanded view, and I can see that on May 1st, we're almost at 3 days to resolve tickets. That's pretty high in comparison to the other days as well. So what we're able to do here is see basically the high level needle that shows what is a percentage of our tickets that are breaching SLA for each one of my SLAs. And then I can see the day-to-day performance for my average time to response, average time to resolution. The next report I'm going to show is our open versus resolve chart. Again, simple data entry, project key, start date, end date, issue types. This is going to show me the number of tickets that were opened and the number of tickets that were resolved in a pie chart for those days. Ideally, this report is sitting as close to 50-50 as possible, or the orange is bigger than the red. Because what we're showing you here is how many tickets can our service desk team resolve in comparison to how many were opened. Doesn't dig into what the type of tickets are, how many were escalated, but just gives us a high-level view to see how we are performing day to day. And you can adjust the dates within the parameters to show how we're performing for an individual day, week, whatever the case may be, whatever you need to see in terms of that time box. The last report we're going to show is our time and status report. So parameters are project key, start date, end date, single issue type, and service request, and the sample size. Now this is going to be a flow chart, and it's going to show a shape for each one of the statuses within the service request workflow. In each shape, it's going to show us the average time that our tickets have lived in that status. So you can see here in progress, our tickets have lived there on average 10 hours and 4 minutes. Now, maybe that's good or bad, depending on how our SLAs are, but this gives us the what, so then we can go investigate the why. Same thing with escalated. Our tickets have lived in escalated on average 7 hours and 34 minutes. Maybe that's a problem, maybe it isn't. It just gives us that metric at a high level so that we can go dig into what those tickets are and identify as to why they might have lived in that status as long as they did. So that concludes the demonstration of our health gauge report, our mean time to respond and resolve report, our open versus resolve chart, as well as our time and status report.